What's happening, fam? First, I'm gonna start with salute to every last one of them, to all of the NBA players who decided to, you know what, we finna boycott this playoff now. First and foremost, starting with the Milwaukee Bucks. You know, they started this now because this stuff happened. The last one happened in Wisconsin. Kentucky don't have a team, so I can see why, that is a problem. But, yo, what's happening? Tell me if you can hear me, because it doesn't look like my mic is working. So let me know if you can hear me in this joint. Just press 1. But first and foremost, press 1 if you can hear me. All right. Up more. AJ, what's happening? Pop, what's going on? Yeah, cool. So we're going to start where it needs to start. B-Dub, Michael, what's popping? Appreciate it, Roger. Now, all of a sudden, this is what happens. The chickens are coming home to roost now. What's up, Water Sniper, man? Hope you've been good. Champ. So now, who's going to have to talk about this? ESPN, all the sports radio. I was at work, and I'll go back, and I get back to the office, and one of my homeboys, he's like, yo, you what you listening to? I'm like, just YouTube. He's like, yo, take the headphones off. So that's how I see this boycott happening. So that's how I hear of it. And I'm like, you know what? Great. Because now, this is what we as black people needed, not what the country needed. You know what? I'm at this point. I've been at this point for a while. Forget what the country needs. Because we've been sacrificing as black Americans, ADOS, a foundation black. We've been sacrificing for this country for no avail, for far too long, for no reason. I got to shout out Doc Rivers, because when I woke up this morning, he was saying, I was watching him do an interview or whatever. What's up, Tony? Talking about, we've been I don't know why we loving this country and it don't love us back. I so much appreciate it that now people are doing something. The irony of it all is this. The Milwaukee Bucks best player and face of the league is not even from America. All right? Giannis, I know he's from Africa, but but he was in Greece. So that's, in some ways, that's dope as hell to me, because even he can see, you know what, I'm here. There's something wrong with this. I'm not playing. This is our city, our team, because you got to remember, one of their players got jammed up at a Walgreens some years ago. Now, here's the irony. Doc Rivers and a player that got Sterling Brown, they're from the same neighborhood. Because how should I know? Because I'm from the same neighborhood. Same high school. So I'm sure they remembered that. You know what I'm saying? So the irony of all of this is great, because I remember when the Donald Sterling thing happened and the players threw down the jerseys. I was like, this is the stupidest thing ever. This is the stupidest thing ever. Because at the end of the day, they made that guy richer. And shout out to Chris Paul, ironically, because what happened was, from my understanding, the Rockets and the Clippers was about to play. And Chris Paul and Russell Westbrook had a talk, and they went back to the Bucks. They done. And I'm sure Chris Paul is thinking, like, you know what? I wish we did this the last time, but now we did. Oh yeah, Shark, they stopped. It's postponed. Playoffs are postponed. Hood Serpent, what's happening? What I know about the Jacob Lake situation is two ladies was fighting. That's all I need to know. 2 women are fighting, and police call for 2 women, and the black dude gets shot. When you get to the scene, that's all I need to know. That's it. I could care less about he's black, he should have did it. No, 911 says two women are fighting. Cool, that's what happened. They boycotting because of the Prometheus. They boycotting because of what went on in Wisconsin. That's why the Bucks basically did it first, because Milwaukee, Wisconsin. You know, so that's what happened. You know, plus they had the young white dude who just shot 2 people at a protest, and cops was high-fiving him and his friends, giving them water before they even got to the protest with rifles. You know, but when they shot somebody, you know, it's okay. They just got the young dude or whatever, but that mentality. So I'm talking too loud, you know. You know, listen, man. Here's the thing, hood conservative. I don't know you like that, but this is what I do know, and I'm a conservative. I know good and well that most conservatives, black or white or imposters or otherwise, like to make up whatever they can to make black people look bad at the end of the situation. You know, that's what it is. I know black people can't do nothing right because you're conservative and it's got to be the black man's fault. I get all that. But BS is BS. You know, so shout out to the NBA players. Salute to them. Same thing going on with Breonna Taylor. Same thing happening with George Floyd. Is anybody in jail? Is there a trial going on right now? No. There is. There is. So, you know, and shout out to O'Shea, because I was listening to him earlier when he was talking about, you know, brothers having a problem with brothers. That's what it is. You know, so shout out to him. But going back to these players, you know, I hope the NFL start doing it. You know, I hope that, you know, college football start doing it. High school players start doing it. Because I'm gonna tell you what this is. What makes these colleges money? Basketball and football. What makes these advertisers money? You know, sports and entertainment. What you tune into like that? What was ironically, during this whole COVID thing, when there was nothing on, let's see, the biggest thing people talked about in sports was a documentary about Michael Jordan, even though NASCAR and golf viewership went up. So this is what's going on. And ironically, nobody likes the entirety of America don't really like golf or NASCAR racing. You know, one of the, you know, the whole, it ain't the Confederate thing. It's just NASCAR was a sport built off of drug trafficking. That's why. I'm gonna watch, you know, this is how drug traffickers, how fast they can drive. You know, not really my thing. But going back to the players boycotting, this is one thing I've been knowing, and I've said this for years. People say when you have players out here, you know, or black people who got money, shout out to Robert Smith also, because now that he paid for all these brothers' college tuition, now they want to try to hit him with a case. So don't be surprised if all the brothers in the NBA who boycotted, don't be surprised if you hear 50 to 100 negative stories about NBA players, or somebody came out of the woodwork about when he was in high school or college, or he cussed out somebody at a wing stop or something like that. I'm expecting all of this. So people, oh, he's not such a good person after all. Man, he kicked over somebody's lemonade at TGIFs. Like, I'm expecting all of that. You know? So, but here's the thing that I've said about players for years. You know, even people, players and celebrities, they isolated, but their families ain't isolated. You know? They families ain't. This is why I keep telling people, you really don't see a lot of players' families at the games like that. Their extended families at the games like that. You know why? Because they get tired of all that, those racial epithets and those shenanigans. Trash talk is one thing. We understand. I go to his place. This is, you know, you a fan of this team and you want the other team to lose, and my family members just happen to be playing for the other team. We get all of that. But all of the monkey, the N-word, the this, the that, the third, your mama, I hope your wife, blah, 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 hope your kid die, blah, blah, blah. All of that stuff it goes into it. People forget, they played for Kobe. They wasn't playing for the NBA. That's just what it is. Oh yeah. But see, the MLB got its own problem. Killmonger, the MLB, Major League Baseball ain't been right since they stopped, since they took down all of the it's not the black players, but what they did was they undercut black baseball in America. In like the 90s, now guess what? You going, to the Hispanic community, Central, South America, Caribbean. That's all good. Do that. All that's gonna do is make sure that other groups, as in Hispanics, they get more of a foothold in this country. But the crazy part about it is people don't gravitate to baseball players like that anymore because they know all the competition is died down and dried out. That's what happened. It is what it is. America is predominantly football, basketball, and boxing. Baseball makes the most money, but boxing is probably more popular in America than baseball at this point, or UFC. But here was the other thing about that. Oh man, hey man, Prometheus, it's all fam love. I'm gonna keep an open mind. Look, you say do whatever you want, rock however you want, fam. But the players' families, like people forget, this country is so racist. If LeBron James is the face of the NBA and he's living in L.A., it seems like the NBA thinks LeBron forgot that they spray painted the N-word on his house. That ain't a predominantly black neighborhood. What about when they was defacing the murals to LeBron in L.A.? They were saying it was for Kobe, but you're not gonna assume black people did that. You know what I'm saying? You're not gonna assume it. Torrin, what's going on? One Love, you got another story to talk about, player. I don't know if you saw the article about the black family. I want to say it's actually a interracial couple in Florida who, when they took the black stuff out of their house, their property, but appraisal went up 40%. So this is where we at. So you find that story, Tori. I know I'm tired. I'm going too fast. Getting back to the NBA. Shout out to the players. Shout out to them. Because at the end of the day, what is this country without us? See, and shout out to people like Ice Cube. Shout out to all the black people who like, oh man, I don't care who wins. I don't care if Trump wins, and I don't care if Biden wins. Matter of fact, I ain't voting for Biden. I might not even vote for Trump. I suspect a lot of black people are gonna just vote independent or not vote at all. That's what I suspect. Let this country keep doing what it's doing. Because obviously it ain't doing something right. When Richard Spencer wants to flip-flop and go to the Democratic Party for right now. Hilarious. But going back to the players, see, this is gonna trickle down in a lot of different ways. Art, what's happening, brother? Everything ain't gotta be about money. This is about power. Power and money are two different things. This is about unity and power. See, people assume that, the opportunity, America is the land of opportunity. Well, if it ain't opportunity for us, and you got to be an anomaly to benefit off the opportunity, now the anomalies are out here saying, you know what, I'm not with it. Now the anomalies are saying, you know what, we sick of it. Now the anomalies are going, you know what? Yeah, you know what? Killmonger, you remember maybe about 3 weeks to a month ago, the Oakland A's, one of their coaches threw up the Nazi the Nazi white power sign in the game after like a home run or something like that. And one of the white players slapped his hand down, like, what are you doing? The dude still got a job, if I'm not mistaken. He didn't get fired. He's still one of the coaches. See, but people are supposed to overlook stuff like that. You know, so now we cooking with grease. Because now the same thing is gonna happen with all of these schools, all of these teachers, you know. It was a steal. Appreciate you, Prometheus. You know. So now we looking. The country's gonna have to look at itself. Man, even the rich black athlete doesn't want to play, doesn't want to be. Don't be surprised, you know, if this spills out into other avenues. Not even whether it be boycotting or unity. Don't be surprised if your black officers and your black firefighters, you know, and your black military individuals and all these black, like, you know what? We taking all our group, we going to our neighborhood. We done policing your neighborhood. We done letting y'all, you know, we transferring back to our neighborhoods. Cause, you know, y'all part of the problem. What's up, GG? Kids, what's going on? But I gotta say, you know, yeah, I get that, Killmonger. That's, you know, it is what it is. I'm still like, I don't even know how to think about that whole Nick Cannon situation, because, you know, sometimes we say we got each other back and then we don't, and then you gotta be perfect. It's just weird. But right now, this is perfect for me. Because I can guarantee you the NFL is going to start talking to their players right now. I can guarantee you the NFL is like, hey, listen. I can guarantee you the coaches at these colleges, you know, don't be surprised. Alabama, LSU, the coaches are sitting there, listen, look now. We're trying to get you to the NFL. We're trying to get your mom out of the hood now. You got to play for us now. We got to do this. Shout out to Plies, because he said that a week ago. Like, you know, where these coaches at when all this Black Lives Matter stuff is going on? Where all these coaches who they love their black players, but when they black players want to protest something, oh my God, no, we got to keep the school making money. You know, the world is laughing at. Good. You know, truth be told, remember everyone? Yeah. But I'm glad they proven Kyrie right. But irony of it is, I gotta give the NBA players this. Not only did they protest, not only did they boycott, but you remember they told the NBA players, you have to play a certain amount of games so we won't short you on your paper. They played they games. They played their little 7-8 games, got to the playoffs, and now they boycotted. So you still owe them the money. So contractually, they did their thing. See, playoff is not the regular season. Your contract is for the regular season. Playoffs is extra. You get an actual playoff check per game. That's a bonus of your contract. So guess what? They don't care. They getting their guaranteed money. They don't care. So now, what are the teams gonna do, man? What are we gonna do? Shout out to Masai. What is it? Masai Ujiri, I want to say, because his thing came out recently when Toronto won a title and the security guard was pushing him, talking crazy to him or whatever. That came out, the video, and now people are like, oh man, that really happened. That's the Raptors. That's Toronto. They represent Canada. And they can come to America and be black and get treated like that. They didn't know who Masai Ujiri was. I hope I said the name right, because I'll be messing names up. You know. Good. I'm glad the NFL players are talking about doing it too. I'm so glad. You know, messing up my fantasy football league, but I don't care. Good. That's what you get. And what people gonna say? Now Drew Brees gonna have a whole nother conversation with the Saints. And I was born in New Orleans. I'm a Saints fan. Oh, you think Drew Brees gonna lead the Saints onto the field? All the people who said I wasn't gonna kneel, look at, this trickles down. Once again, I'm gonna say it again. Shout out, shout out to all the NBA players. Because let me get back to the NFL part and I'm gonna come back. All of these leaders and in the NFL, they can't stop this, because I saw an article recently about Roger Goodell saying he wished um, uh, he would have listened to Colin Kaepernick. Too late now. Too late now. The players already said we protesting this year anyways. Before all of this happened. So now we got a whole nother problem. Now, going back a little bit, when I was talking about the players and their families and how people's families are affected and whatnot, what's going to crack me up now is there are a lot of non-Black people in America who are huge sports fans. And so you don't mix your religion, your politics, and your sports together, right? So, or if your racism, racism in sports doesn't necessarily mix, because your favorite player is probably Black, but you probably don't like Blacks. You know what I mean? So all of those people who are looking at the country like, it's just fine. I can't believe. Yeah, George, look it up. Yes, George. They type in the NBA, you're going to see all the games postponed. All the games postponed. Started with the Milwaukee Bucks because of the protests going on in Wisconsin. That's what I assume. I could be wrong, but absolutely. But all of the people who are non-Black people who hate them some Black folks but love them some Black players, what you gonna do now? Even your favorite Black player is sick of the racism. You gonna, let me guess, you're gonna burn his jersey, you're gonna throw away his poster, you're gonna burn his sneakers. Been down there before, right? My children will never, ever, ever be a fan of this organization and these players again. Oh my God. See, let me go back some. The malice at the palace. Why did it start? Why? Because some guy went to the game and decided to throw a beer on one of the players on the court and thought that was okay. And you know who was mad, and the league changed. The players can't go into the stands and do this, that, and the third and hit nobody. But you could still throw beer and water and popcorn and food, Gatorade bottles, depending on if in football stadiums, batteries, but you can still hit all the players with all these things to this day. It's not really a big deal. It could just be a natural food fight out there. Even when guys go to when you see the Black players overseas playing soccer, they still, and even in hockey, still throwing bananas out on a soccer field, out on the hockey ice. It's no big deal. No big deal. But this is a problem. Oh, I feel they might start their own league at some point, but at this point, it's gonna be something different. I have an inclination of what it's gonna be, but I'm not gonna put that out in the universe for somebody to watch this, listen to it, spread that word, and then somebody be like, for real? Nah. I believe I know what's gonna happen. I'm gonna let it ride. You don't understand how it's gonna help easily. See this BS laying up with non-Black women. Most Black athletes are with Black women. That's just a fact. This is another reason why I'm glad they boycott, because most Black athletes are with Black women. But we always the white women and the Hispanic women and the Asian women because the 5 people I've seen, they were white chicks. Okay, you really think, you know, the vast majority of the NBA is dating and smashing a Kardashian and a Kardashian knockoff? No, they're not. They're not. But this goes into what happens. You know, you run, but this is where we at a society. You know, because the players understand this. Like, people seem to forget. Like I said, one of the Milwaukee Bucks got tuned up by the police. What, 2 years ago, a year and a half ago? At like 3 a.m. at a Walgreens, because he was parked in the handicap spot. It's not a reason to tase somebody or beat somebody up, and it's the Midwest and it's cold. People do that all the time. They put their car close to the door because it's cold. You don't get tased like that. Yeah, people forget about that. The NBA players deal with more racism than NFL players because the floor is closer. Like, my homeboy said, he wished this would have happened, when they was all in the stadiums, because then it would have been a real problem. But here's the kicker. Don't be surprised if when these stadiums open up a year from now, it does happen. Don't be surprised if the players say, you know what, whatever, man, we ain't coming. Because the one thing I know about America has a hard time stopping its racism. See, America wants black people to react the way that white people and non-white people and non-black people say, this is how you should act. But now it's at that point where it's so far gone that I can even tell you, when I see other groups of people who are non-black, people of color, start emphasizing to their kids, this is what black people go through. Not like we don't go through this type of stuff, but this is what black people go through. You're gonna get treated somewhere between this white guy and this black guy, but this is what black people go through. So guess what? Understand, it can get this unfair for you, but this is what this country is. Oh man, Tiger, it's all good. You could walk off because, oh boy, like, people quit their job all the time. People quit their job all the time. I've seen people walk off because of things like that. I think we assume, and I know you're not trolling, Tiger. You've been here plenty of times, so it's not that. But people assume because people have to feed their families that they'll put up with anything. And this is kind of a domino in the right direction, where people like, look, I'm famous and I'm rich, but I ain't gonna put up with this just on the fact that such and such ain't gonna put up with this. Look, all of these players, like I said, have family and family members. If you remember, what's the old boy's name? Tiago Splitter, something like that. He was hanging out with, I want to say, JJ Redick, and they went out to a club, like an NBA thing, and the cops broke his leg, and he had to sue like the New York Police Department because he went out to a party with one of his teammates, and the cops broke his leg with a baton because they were just, basically harassing the guy, trying to, quote unquote, clear some things out. Yeah. He said, okay, you read the statement? Cool. Yeah. But I don't know if he was playing for OKC at the time, but yes, him. See, this stuff doesn't just affect, this even affects the players themselves. y'all don't know how many of these players have been pulled over. Look, I remember my older cousin was in the NFL, and he went to a steak and shake. If anybody knows what don't know what steak and shake is, um, if you got like a Freddy's steak burger, same thing. Steak, it's a burger joint that's known for their shakes and whatnot. They broke his leg because he's a big NBA. He's like 6'7", 6'8". So they kind of got, they wanted to check him, and it's that they broke his leg in front of like JJ Redick. They jumped on him like that. But this is where we at. The one that look, I think it's Tiago Splitter. I might be wrong, but I believe that's him because he's like French or something like that. But this happens to the players. Like I was saying, my cousin, he went to a Steak and Shake drive-through. This was in the 90s. So he pulls up, 90s, nice car, black dude. And he's in the drive-through like waiting. He's like, man, I was waiting in the drive-through for at least 10, 15 minutes. I'm thinking, what's going on in there? And what happened was they saw his car. They saw him pull up. They assumed he was a drug dealer. And they called the police on him while he was ordering his food. So the police came, basically, you can't really surround the car in the drive-thru because he was just waiting by the window. But they blocked it off. And then, thank you, Cephalosha. I'm sorry. Cephalosha. Appreciate that. And what wound up happening was the cops recognized my cousin because he was a fan of the team. He's like, oh, that's da-da-da-da-da. And the lady working in the Steak and Shake was like, oh, I didn't know. Sorry. He ain't went back to Steak and Shake since, But I know, Chef, but I remember JJ Redick talking about that. Like, that's when America and racism hit him. Like, that's when it hit him. When that stuff happened. That's when he was like, oh, wow, it is different. But this affects the NBA players. See, people forget about, even with the NFL, look how quickly we forgot about JoJo McKnight. JoJo McKnight, got shot by a white dude on this, stand your ground. That. You know what I'm saying? And I brought up JoJo McKnight before. Steve Foley. If anybody remember Steve Foley, played for the Chargers. He's a linebacker. Remember when he got shot in the chest by an off-duty cop who tried to pull him off of the road for whatever? People forget about that type of stuff. It happens to the players. This is not a one-off. Because what about the other players who are not as famous? Like, I remember going out years ago, and I went to a nightclub, and I'm in Houston. So Tracy McGrady was playing for the Rockets. He was throwing a party. I actually kind of didn't know it. But when I got there, I was like, oh, it's an NBA party. Okay, whatever. And Mike James, if anybody remember who Mike James was, he could ball. But he a couple of years he averaged 20. But he played for the Pistons. He started balling when he played for the Raptors, but he came to the Rockets. When Mike James got to the club, they was like, man, you gone somewhere. It was a young black lady working at the front with the security, but I don't think the security was black, but she was at the door with the security. He's like, gone somewhere. And I had to tap the girl. I said, hey, Delonte West got beat. I forgot about that. But I had to tap the girl and say, hey, he played for the Rockets. Because if you're not a face of the league, you just, because Mike James maybe is about 6'2". So in some ways he looks like, there are guys just walking around at 6'2". So it is what it is, But people get treated like, You know, I knew, and the way he was a cool brother. What he did was he said, all right, well, I'm gonna just go ahead and go. That's all. He just turned around and said, I'm gonna just go. He didn't even want to escalate. It's like, look, I'm such and such. He didn't even want to have a conversation. He just like, hey. And when I had to talk to the girl, and then she's like, hey, excuse me, you let it up? He's like, yeah. And then she let him in. I'm not taking no credit for none of that, but I know this to happen all the time. I've seen this happen with multiple people. It happens more so with NFL players because you really don't know what they look like. You know, an NFL player could people don't realize basketball players are bigger than NFL players. Nicole, thank you, fam. They're bigger. Like basketball players are way bigger than football players. You know, a small forward to a power forward is the size of a defensive tackle. I mean, a defensive end in the NFL. That's what that is. You know what I'm saying? 3s, 4s, and 5s. That's, you know, your regular defensive end in the NFL. Not a joke. Not kidding. But these brothers go through these things. No, James Harden is bigger than a linebacker. A linebacker will not be that tall. A linebacker isn't that tall. Linebackers go from really 5'11", maybe 5'10", to maybe 6'2". To have a 6'4", 6'5" linebacker is a freakish individual. That's like Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry is bigger than a linebacker. But let me get back to shouting out these NBA players. You know, because all of these people, appreciate it, all of these people who are big sports fans are going to have a problem. See, all of these universities are going to start to have a problem because you saw how they started flipping out when the players was talking about, I need to get paid for playing here. You see how that's wrong. Oh my God, that's so wrong. It's funny how basketball and football, you can't get paid. You know what I'm saying? They got the one and done rule with basketball now, but football, you got to be there 3 years now. Why is that? You know, if you get hurt on a college campus, you done, right? Thank you, Nicole. How you doing? You know, yes, I am serious, Danny. I'm dead serious. You know, but non-black people like, I want the black people to play and do what I say and do and be my hero, but I hate them. No, dog, no. Even the players like, we done with that. We done with that. This is the funny part about it. There are black players, a lot of black players, who know all too well about black on black crime because some of them come from those neighborhoods. Think about this. Chris Paul himself. Think about it. Chris Paul's granddad was murdered by like 3 or 4 black dudes for no reason, like at a gas station. I think because he ran a gas station. He's one of the people that, man, forget all these folks, man. I can't get my granddad back. But you know what? Even he like, nah, we can't do this. Because I'm sure of it, he's faced racism before. I remember him talking about a story about his mother was washing his clothes and she was driving his car. And he was like, he realized he can't have cars certain ways like hooked up because his mama was driving. They was pulling his mama over. Because it reeks of, that's a black dude. Tinted windows, rims, paint job, you know, that's a black dude. Mama driving it though, but she got to get pulled over. You know, she got to get pulled over. Yeah, so shout out to them, man. They what they're doing, you know, just like Ice Cube. And when I brought up Robert Smith earlier, truth be told, when he started saying that the country need to pay reparations to Black Americans, that's when this stuff came out. You know, We boycott the. If you notice, the Olympics is slowly getting boycotted. If you see that, James, because the only people who really go to the Olympics is track. That's it, because that's their professional stage. But boxers skip it; they just going pro. The NBA, they best players after like the second or third dream team, they skipped it. You know what I'm saying? So they just starting to get them guys back, really. And even the best of them be like, I might play, I might not. So basketball, I know they're trying to put baseball and UFC in it, but they gonna skip it. Raiders want to pay you minimum wage. Always smell, yeah. Going back to that. So, though, could America be great without black people? No. And this boycott is starting to prove it. If the country got a whole other problems to worry about, right? Why you worry about black players boycott? Because I know they're gonna be non-black people like, oh my God, and don't be surprised. And this is the one thing I will shout out to all the black players about. And this is what y'all need to know if y'all ever hear this. And this is what I would like y'all to spread the word about. For all you black players who boycott in the NBA, even if it goes to the NFL or the NHL, all of those, make sure after you boycott, you fire all of your financial advisors that are non-black and keep your money in the bank. Because don't be surprised if it be somebody. Do a screening process with your money. Because don't be surprised if they try to put your money in bad investments to make sure you broke after the fact. Do not be surprised if they do that. They already do it anyways. But don't be surprised if they get spiteful and try to do that with you. Thank you, Mac. Thank you for that, Mac. Like, do not be surprised if they do that. Me Too gonna come up. There's gonna be some players. I expect after this boycott, there are gonna be a lot of issues. But what I don't expect, I don't expect there'll be a swift trial for the cops who killed George Floyd. There won't be a swift trial for the cops that killed Breonna Taylor, and there won't be a swift trial for these cops that killed this guy. That was his wife. That wasn't a good friend. That was his wife. His wife was the one that did that red pill. So for the players, watch your back. Watch your back. I'm gonna tell you all that right now. And see, here's another thing that might wind up happening that people don't even think about. They boycott this. All you jewelers and car, and car custom guys, y'all might start losing a lot of money too. Because because even though y'all like the players spending money, watch what happens. Some of you tattoo artists, watch what happens. Watch what happens. Because they're gonna go there and they're gonna see some of these things. You know what? Oh wow, you okay? You got this going on? All right, cool. They say they money, Andre, but don't be surprised. These financial advisors do some shady stuff. So you got to get your money, be in control of your money. Be in control of your investments. This is, the vast majority of these players go broke because of divorce, bad investments, and which means that your financial team is really stealing from you and putting you in a hole because they're gonna get paid either way, and bad spending habits. You can flip flop them in 1 and 3 any kind of way. Oh yeah, you see that, Keith. But shout out to him. Now, let me spread this out some though. We're gonna see what the other athletes do. Let's see what the entertainers do now. Let's see what the rappers do now. Let's see what the singers do now. Let's see how they protest. You know, let's see how they protest now. Let's see, if somebody comes out with it, what kind of albums they coming out with now. Let's see. Oh yeah. So one love to all the players. Congratulations for that. And one of the other reasons I got to congratulate the players and salute them. What's up, Keith? Is normally one of the reasons why they don't protest like this is because they have rookies and young players who like 2-3 years in who need money, and they know if they go, those kids will go broke. But I'm pretty sure now that the way they're looking at it, they're gonna look out for their teammates. Because there was an article about one of the actual NFL players who basically said he broke during this pandemic. Like he needs to play because he ain't got no more money. You know, exactly. But some things are bigger than that. And to be perfectly honest, a lot of NBA players, broke or not, they've been catered to for a very long time. So if you got to take an L sometimes, take an L sometimes. What's up, Nicole? Yeah, that's what goes down. Yeah, that's all this is about, Red Pill. I'm so glad you got black celebrities getting on code. And it's forcing, it's forcing the non-black people, because it's white people in the NBA, it's other Europeans in the NBA. The Mavericks can't play the Clippers without the Clippers. You can't do it. Doc finna say, the coaches can't put the guys on the team. They're grown men. They can't just go play. Go ahead. Like, can't do it. The GM can't say nothing. What's the owner gonna say? Get on the floor right now, or I'm gonna do what? Do what? It's out there. Hey, they might be on the IRS. This is great. We on code. When Ice Cube did the thing, it was like, what the Democrats do for us? You see, with the hip hop community saying, don't, even Diddy went from vote or die to, you're gonna have to do something for me to vote for you. So, when Diddy and Ice Cube are basically saying the same thing as East West Coast to a degree, that's one thing. You know what I'm saying? Now you got athletes like, look, too much police brutality. Now they making Colin Kaepernick look right in the mug right now, though. It makes the NFL look bad. NASCAR, let me be honest with you. NASCAR and golf don't really have stars like that. Nobody wants to, NASCAR doesn't have star power. Richard Petty is dead. Dale Earnhardt, I think, was NASCAR's biggest star. Earnhardt Jr., as far as star power, was that. All the other guys, they're not really stars. All the golfers, they're not really stars. They're golfers. They don't transcend anything. The last transcended white guy that I could think about is Michael Phelps. Before Luka right now. So, in these aspects, it is what it is. Shout out to the players for doing it. Y'all, as much as people talk about black men now, I appreciate y'all. Y'all made black men look great. We're proud of y'all. Shout out to Jim Brown, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Bill Russell, who was that? Wilt Chamberlain, Muhammad Ali. This goes back to them because this is things that they put in motion in the 60s. So this ain't nothing we haven't seen before. Yeah, shout out to New Black Media. I hope, maybe I'm the first person to talk about it. I hope all black media talks about this in some way, shape, form, or fashion. I don't care if it's positive or negative. I'm gonna keep this positive because this is a great look for us. This is definitely a great look for us. Because now it also puts into that reparations conversation. Listen, Listen, I'm whatever. It puts into that reparations conversation what we need. You know, oh man, appreciate that, Keith. My PhD, I appreciate it. I appreciate it. So now, even Joe Biden and Kamala Harris got. We're gonna have to talk about this reparations stuff because we can't even get the athletes right now. Ironically, who's a big basketball fan? Former President Barack Obama. Let's see what he got to say now. Because he wasn't really talking that much about the black community. Him and his wife kind of been silent. I think he made one comment about keep protesting. We're gonna see now. The NBA don't have a choice at this point. Now the NFL ain't gonna have a choice either. To be perfectly honest, wow, the Brewers canceled their game. That's interesting. That's interesting. That I wouldn't have expected that from the Brewers, but shout out to them. Ready for the 40 acres in the Bentley. Shout out to the Brewers for that. Because the interesting thing about this Milwaukee situation is no different from other situations. Is the key, but the young guy who shot the two people. See, if people didn't see the video of the young guy who just shot the two protesters and the police being cool with that, because this is one of the things that bothers me about protesting. I brought up the shooter earlier, but when they have protests, I've said this, we've had protest interlopers for years, but one of the things is they have quote unquote patriots, which is normally white males who are either in the state or from another state, drive to the state with guns, camo, military gear, and they're just on the side of the police. And the police just say, hey, buddy, we're on the same team. Blue Lives Matter. This ain't the first, a few weeks back or a month back, a white guy got killed with his black girlfriend who was a paraplegic. He got shot. He was carrying a gun, though. He was. But the way it looks, he was pushing this girl across the street, and the dude tried to hit her. So they got into it about that. So now, you got these folks out here like, man, we're really empowering white guys to actually shoot people at protests like it ain't no problem. We're giving you take protesters' water and bust it up, and you give guys with rifles water that shoot people. Is he gonna go to jail? Absolutely, because they just got him, but they let him go home or something. It was crazy. You said shout out to LeBron. Hey, shout out to LeBron too. See, now we cooking with grease. Now it's about to get real. Because as a black man, we used to being oppressed and broke by people holding us back. We're not used to, what? This was when the sit-in went to another level. This is a sit-in that went to another level. Our celebrities pulled the sit-in. Hilarious. So now what you gonna do? Now what we gonna do? This race war stuff, I'm gonna be honest about this. Black people ain't scared of white people. That's the one thing that I don't think white people understand. We're not scared of y'all. We've never been scared of y'all. White people aren't the type of people who actually really want problems. They don't really want face-to-face smoke. They don't really want to go hand to hand or gun to gun. They don't want them problems. They want to play like they got them problems, and they call a buddy who's a cop, or call a buddy who's an attorney, or call a buddy who's a judge, and then get them life, Jimbo. They don't really want no real problems face to face with nobody. White people want a real problem like that. The military would be all white. Police department would be all white. They don't want no smoke like that. They recruit, white people and Hispanics and some black people to do their dirty work for them. They don't want to have no problems with a person. We ain't never been scared of them like that. They got more guns? Yeah, they got more guns, but they ain't got more heart though. That's what it is. They want to have more guns when it's 15 of them and one of you and they invite you out to dinner. that's the kind of heart they got. You know, they ain't real like that. But so now it's like, man, listen, this is Black America putting pressure on America. You got regular Black people we withholding the vote. You got celebrity Black people they withholding, the sport, because all we got is sports and entertainment. Guess it looks powerful right now, don't it? Because you ain't gonna be able to make money without this advertising, right? And the economy is shot because of the pandemic. So people ain't buying stuff like that. I'm in Houston. It's gonna be a hurricane. Hopefully, if it depends on where it moves, it is what it is. What we doing now? What we doing now? Shout out to all, shout out to We Buy Black. Because don't be surprised. And ironically, I will say this, and this is kind of funny. Even though Umar Johnson has his shenanigans with him, the NBA players who was going to invest in his school, now they see what he's talking about we need our own stuff. Now they see what he's talking about. They might have not liked the way he was doing it, but they darn sure see what he's talking about. What's up, fitness? Now they see like, you know what, he got a point. I might not like dude, I might not like some of his tactics, but he got a point. I saw something recently with Jay-Z paying off the Rough Riders debt at Def Jam. I don't necessarily Jay-Z's not my, he's one of the best rappers of all time, but he's shady to me. But I can say over the last 5-10 years, he's been doing some real stuff. I can admit that. But even him with I'm gonna work with the NFL thing. Well, you see, that ain't finna work now. The NFL had a whole platform, and I've said this, using the players and using the NFL and flip-flopping on the sports. I bet you this be the first year that the NFL they're gonna have some Black history stuff in their Super Bowl now. Watch what I tell you. The Super Bowl has been in February for years. Ain't been out one Black history. Not the NFL has not done one thing about Black history in the Super Bowl. Not one. The only thing that happened was when Beyonce did the Malcolm X thing and people lost their minds about Malcolm X, but that was in February. So I'm be out like it's a whole lot, going go on. And the reason I'm talking about this because of the backlash. There's gonna definitely be backlash. Definitely. From conservatives and from liberals. There's gonna definitely be backlash. And I'm glad, because when you start seeing all of these stories come out about these players, and he did this and he did that, look at the news sources. Look at the people who wrote it. So you can see what kind of people really don't have our best interests at heart. Because all them people ain't gonna be white. All it is gonna be white people, Black people, foreigners who are Americanized, Hispanics, Asians. It's gonna be all those people coming out. Let's see how the Jewish community talk. They white people, but let's see the Jewish and Italians talk now. Because you see, this also put a pin in gambling right now. How Vegas didn't expect this. Vegas gonna have a problem with this. Betting's at a standstill now. Ain't that about a blip? Your advertisers are at a standstill now. Ain't that about a blip? Y'all. And now people we're gonna do harsher backgrounds. Because I'm gonna tell you what they're gonna try to do. Because they've been trying to do this for years. They're going to try to make the NBA and the NFL, you can't do it with the NFL, the NBA more of a foreign game. That's all they're going to do. They're going to try to get people from all parts of the world and make it a global game. It's going to have one problem. The best players of basketball are normally in America, and even the best players in America starting to go overseas to play instead of going to college. Ain't that about a blip? So guess what's going to happen? We're going to have some issues. Ain't that right, Roger? Shout out to you. Thanks. Because what's going on in America right now, see, I know people say, when black people do the looting and the rioting and all that, it's not cool. I get it's not cool. But you know what's funny about it, though? Now you're getting both sides. This is a peaceful protest. And you're getting rioting and looting. But guess what? Since you don't listen, you got to get both. Since you ain't willing to do nothing about it, you got to get both. Only thing next to do is what O'Shea has been talking about. Shout out to that, to my big bro. Brothers, time to we got to stick together. We got to come up with ways to start our own businesses, and we got to support each other. Because we just spent a lot of time supporting everybody else. We got to start supporting other black folks. If if it ain't a black, I don't watch movies if it ain't no black people in it. You understand what I'm saying? The only thing I can't get around is food at the grocery store. That's it. But I make it my business to buy everything else black I can get. Somebody black got to be affiliated with me for me to buy it. I take that back in the car because I didn't buy the what you call it? Is the Chrysler or the Cadillac that was designed by a black man. I know Hispanics and white folks are looting and robbing. Cool. We need to do that. Exactly. They got to learn the hard way too. Sharp. They got to learn the hard way too. It's time for Black America to stop pacifying white folks. See, white folks think they pacifying us. No, it's not. They're not. Right. That's why I said red pill. That's why I was saying shout out to We Buy Black. I always bring up black businesses and black. I put it even on my Facebook when I find stuff. We got black wine companies, black alcohol companies, black watch companies, black fashion companies, black not even fashion clothing. They got like people who make fedoras. They got those companies. Oh, absolutely, absolutely. You got brothers on here who buying who using platforms to make T-shirts and whatnot. Buy their stuff. Buy your black man a perfect T-shirts from O'Shea. Buy the shirts from Phil the Advice Show. Buy the shirts from Diners. Dope shirts. Hook them up. Hook them up. I'm tripping. Angry Man got a gang of shirts and hats. Go ahead, hook Angry Man up. Start supporting brothers. Start supporting brothers. I'm a watch guy. Tally and Twine to me is a dope watch. 17, a dope watch. Start supporting these brothers. Look up 17. That's a dope watch. That is a dope watch. Supporting each other smarter than burning stuff. Yeah, but you know what? Some of this stuff needs to be burnt down. I don't care. No, we look at the Boston Tea. We told the Boston Tea Party was a great American thing. That was burning shit down. Well, it's the Boston Tea Party all over again. It's the American Tea Party. Protest Tea Party. Fine. It is what it is. What about my stuff? And I hate when black businesses get burnt down. That sucks. I'm not even gonna lie. That sucks. I hate that. Truth be told, I hate when when businesses in general get burnt down because a lot of businesses are good people. Especially a lot of small businesses or not necessarily big businesses, but people who they're not chains. They might have a few spots, but they're not chains. That's I despise that. I'm like, man, look, man, they trying to make a living. Some of the people who buy into franchises, it sucks. I get it. But you know what? This country got to learn. I'm sorry, this country got to learn. I could sometimes a hard head make a soft butt. That's what my grandparents used to tell me. And this country got a very hard head. This is why we still got pandemic problems now, because people got hard heads in this country. I don't need to wear a mask. I need to be all in your face. I need to fly wherever I want. I can do whatever I want. I'm free to do whatever. Cool, fine. You're going to be stuck at home. This country got a very, very hard head. So shout out to all the players, because you know what? They're showing, you know what? We got hard heads too. You know? Because truth be told, salute to the players, because this puts a lot of pressure on the judges and prosecutors and the police departments. What you gonna do now? You don't get the see a lot of these people who use the judicial system as their racial playground. You don't get to go home and eat your nice little dinner and watch the game and chuckle. Now the story's got to be about why these players are boycotting, because you've been out of pocket at your job. You know, now why are we not playing? Because another cop and these are the cops. Oh, we can't release their names. These are the cops in here. We can't release their names. I hope the Lakers start talking about the executioners. And if anybody who don't know what that is, the executioners is a group of white and Hispanic cops in L.A. that was killing people. And you can't be a woman and you can't be black. You know, there's another group who got like 700 and something cases thrown out in LA because of that. So personally, I think what some of these teams need to do is pick their city's problem. Yeah, in Compton. Pick since you play in your city, say, oh, this is what's going on with the police in my city. Oh, this is what's going on with crime in my city. Oh, this is going on with corruption in my city. This is what we're gonna talk about. Since we boycotting, this is why. This is why. You know. You know what? Good, Eugene. And when you win, start talking like buckwheat too, right to the guy. You know, yeah, I remember around part Chicago got theirs, New York got theirs. You know, Houston, we got it's stuff out here too. All these Dallas got they police department issues, but you know, it's not just the police department. You know, it's not. It's just the corrupt judicial system. The judges are the same. The judges are worse than the cops, to be perfectly honest. The judges and the lawyers are worse than the cops, because the judges and the lawyers getting paid to make this divide more. The judges are the ones who let people off. The attorneys are the ones who throw cases. The judges are the ones who give people extensive amounts of time, you know, because of their race. The attorneys are the ones who give people who petition for people to get extensive amounts of time because of people's race. The cops just bring them there. You know, no, Jeremiah, they did the right thing. Because remember, the players needed to play a certain amount of games for their salary to be guaranteed, so they don't owe them, so they don't try to short them on their money. Oh, they played the season out. They finished their little 7-8 games. I said this earlier. Playoffs is different money. You might not have this might be one of those things. You might not have an NBA champion this year. You might not. Let's see. You might not. Hopefully, you don't have an NFL or NCAA champion either. You know, let's see if Nationwide is on our side. Then, let's see if you're going to have Jake from State Farm. Then, you know what I'm saying? Oh, let's see how many Coca-Cola commercials don't come on. Then, you know, oh, shit. I almost dropped my phone. My bad, y'all. Let's see what happens then. Let's see where this goes from this point on. Because it ain't going to go well. I can tell you that. It ain't going to go well. Because now what they're going to try to do is put, you know, after this is over, they're going to put stuff in place. The players can't do this and the players can't do that. The players ain't going to sign it. I'm going to tell you that right now. The next negotiation you got, the players ain't going to sign it. And I thought, even in the NFL, I thought it was stupid for the guys to not get to worry about weed instead of, God dog it, to worry about marijuana offenses instead of guaranteed contracts. That's still stupid to me. But I know what's gonna happen. They also did something, coincidentally in that's gonna cause a problem. If the NFL players could smoke weed and it's not a problem, what does that mean for the citizens? Is it criminalized then? My bad. If you're an NFL athlete, you can get high. If you're an NBA athlete, you can get high. But if you white, you can start you could be a weed dealer or a weed user. Oh, okay. If you're white, you could be a drug addict and you need rehab, and they're gonna try to save your life from ODing with the opium epidemic. Matter of fact, let me say this before I get out of here. During this pandemic, there's been an uptake in mental health relapses, and there's been an uptake in people getting back on drugs. There's been an uptake in that. So guess what's going to happen? Guess what's about to happen? You're going to have a country dealing with this whole crisis while they're going into crisis, because all the underbelly of what's going on in this country ain't being spoken about. It's not. It is not, and it's not going to get spoken about. So, in all honesty, using this for the election, I still believe Trump is going to win. And I think it's a great thing, because if he wins, then people are going to triple down. And if he wins and white people triple down, their behavior is only going to get worse, because it's never gotten better ever, be perfectly honest. But it's only going to get worse. And the economy is only going to get worse. And guess what? That ain't going to be black people who are 14% of the population fault. And you ain't going to have a game to watch to make you feel better. You ain't going to have, your favorite team ain't going to play to make you feel better. Your favorite artist might not make songs that you like now to make you feel better. It's going to all go left. This country blew a gasket when a guy kneeled for a flag, but you still went to the game, didn't you? You paid to go to keep watching the game, make sure don't nobody else kneel. Now they ain't there. What you gonna do now? And I'm an advocate for sports. I think sports are a good thing. But guess what? Don't be surprised also about to be HBCUs. Y'all finna get a lot of players. A lot of players. The scale's about to tip. Y'all finna get a lot of players. Because now, what I'm saying? Why I gotta go play? Why I gotta go to these schools? Why? It was the competition level that was high. It wasn't the coaching. More guys gonna start. I'm going to HBCU, man. I'm going to. I ain't going there. I ain't going there. Now these coaches gonna be trying. I'm gonna apply to be a coach at Prairie View. Why? I'm gonna apply. You know what? I was at Louisville, but I would love to be your head coach at FAMU. Why? And a lot of black coaches who wouldn't get a shot at big colleges, you see them at other smaller colleges, they finna build a program too. So this is gonna trickle down. All them black coaches, just like Penny Hardaway, just like Taggart, that was at Florida State. Now he's at Florida International. Don't be surprised these black coaches, if they ain't going to HBCU, they're gonna go to a black coach at a Division I smaller college. Don't be surprised. Don't be surprised because people get tired of dealing with the shenanigans. Don't be surprised. But I'm gonna get myself up out of here. I've been on here for an hour and 15. Salute to the NBA players. Salute to the black community. Salute to black men. Matter of fact, for the black women there, they wives. Salute to their wives for being down with their husbands, because they part of it too. Salute to the kids. Salute to all the fans who understand it. Salute to the conversation it's gonna create. Thank y'all very much. No, thank you for coming out. God bless. Good night.